कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, new program to prepare Fiji for tourist arrivals. Investigation commences for potential murder case. And agriculture exports remain steady despite pandemic.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Tourism Fiji has launched a Care Fiji commitment program to reassure visitors that Fiji is a safe destination for their next holiday. As part of the commitment, hotels and resorts that sign up will have to have enhanced sanitation practices, practice physical distancing, have contact tracing and case identification protocols.
Fiji is currently the top travel destination in the world, given our containment of COVID-19, and this initiative will enhance our position as the best option for holidaymakers.
It is crucial that consumers see and recognize the changes, and also that they are assured that Fiji is not only the best holiday destination, but the safest.
As part of the commitment, frontline tourism workers will have a COVID-19 safe training program, and all facilities must have a wellness ambassador. Visitors from COVID-19 contained countries and territories can enter Fiji without quarantine, but Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Wong says discussions on identifying these countries are still underway.
To test, the country has to have the capacity to identify cases, contain those cases, and there must be some form of surveillance that allows them to pick new cases. On top of that, the testing capability need to measure up to where we are.
However, border restrictions for other travellers with 14-day mandatory quarantine remains. Visitors must have the Care Fiji app installed and follow all necessary requirements such as wearing face masks.
So the Care Fiji commitment is a destination-wide assurance that Fiji is ready to welcome back travellers to its shores in a post-COVID world.
Tourism Minister Fayaz Koya says the Care Fiji commitment is their obligation to the health and safety of everyone who lives and travels to Fiji. Koya adds at the end of the day, the safety and well-being of Fijians will be paramount. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
3 men who allegedly assaulted an Alsori bus driver, resulting in his death, will now be investigated for murder. Mikaele Lawaniale, Choseteki Rokondakunivosa, and Isikeli Langimbalavu reappeared in the Suva High Court late this afternoon and had their previous charge dismissed. The 3 were initially charged with act with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. The state had filed a nolle prosequi yesterday to allow a new investigation to commence for a potential charge of murder. Subhash Chand, who was allegedly assaulted, passed away at the hospital last week. The alleged incident occurred on the 3rd of October at the Nausori bus stand. The 3 were rearrested outside the Suva High Court this afternoon. A 74-year-old sugarcane farmer from Ba who lost his 3-bedroom home in a fire will soon be able to build a new house. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama today handed over the bundled insurance scheme payment from Fiji Care to Ganeshwa of Natunuku. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The $3,000 payout will greatly benefit Ganeshwa and his family.
I will build a house for my son, clothes, library piece, clothes. And they will give me clothes, pots, utensils they give. I will build his house.
Nearly 12,000 active cane growers under the age of 65 are covered under this scheme.
Beneficiaries received their payouts within 24 to 48 hours of lodging claims, and as of last June, $982,000 was claimed by 251 growers that have benefited for different purposes.
Bainimarama also handed over the grant agreement from the Ministry of Sugar to the Sugarcane Growers Fund.
So when the Sugarcane Growers Fund asked the government to consider paying the growers' premium from July to December 2020, we said yes.
The total amount paid was over $3,000. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Agricultural produce has dominated the volume of Fiji's exports via special freight or cargo flights in the last 6 months. Economy Minister Ayasaid Kayum, while opening the 2020 Agriculture Show in Nausori this morning, highlighted the sector's noted an increase in exports despite the pandemic. Josaina Nunga reports about 85% of the freight in recent months consisted of agricultural produce.
The show sets a platform for every Fijian to grow and nourish agricultural products amid the pandemic.
A lot of them are now actually returning to and doing those activities or those days, those subsistence farming themselves. People started growing food even in the suburbs.
Sayad Kayum believes there is enormous potential in the livestock sector, which can be boosted from primary to secondary stage.
You see that goat meat currently is being imported from New Zealand, when we have the potential to grow goat meat in Fiji, of course. There's, of course, the cattle industry, and there's, of course, piggery, enormous potential in those areas.
59-year-old Losana Ramunra, who loves to be called a female farmer, has been supplying special seedlings to various government ministries, raking thousands of dollars in income.
I've been doing this for the past 3 years. The seedlings are ready for supply in just 3 months, and I've so far earned over $4,000.
I love to be a florist. I have been in this business for the past 5 years. It has helped me put food on the table, and business continues to flourish despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is the newly introduced red dragon fruit that was brought in by the Taiwan Technical Mission and is among the wide variety of fruits, crops, seedlings and livestock on display at the 2020 Central and Eastern Division Agriculture Show at Syria Park here in Nausori. Meanwhile, an estimated 53 booths are occupied in the 2-day show that ends tomorrow. Josaina Nunga, FBC News.
The COVID-19 pandemic has not only increased reliance on the internet and digital network, it's also increased the risk of cyber attacks. A panel discussion in this regard was held by Get Safe Online Fiji to expand public cybersecurity awareness. Pranita Prakash reports.
Businesses and individuals need to take cybercrimes seriously.
A lot of the SMEs, organizations, not just in Fiji, do not actually take cybersecurity very seriously. And we can see that from the number of breaches, people being hacked through malware or phishing.
Rolled out more than 400 complaints by the end of December. And so a majority of our complaints last year were on defamatory comments.
Police are working with businesses to create a safe environment online.
We are trying to find a platform where we can raise awareness in terms of using social media, increasing the security in social media. We have resources, we have counterparts that are willing to help us in raising awareness and providing security services or consultant services to the business community.
The Online Safety Commission says they have received complaints about cyberbullying, stalking and internet trolling. The average age of complainants is 34 years. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Fiji currently has no COVID-19 cases. This was confirmed by Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangai-Nambete. Dr. Wangai-Nambete says our last COVID-19 border quarantine case was released yesterday after staying in isolation for 80 days. He says despite Fiji being free from the virus, Fijians are being urged to continue to follow COVID-19 protocols to ensure they are safe.
There were no symptoms, but obviously our experts and our scientists have our ways and means in which making sure that at the end of it we're able to return this Fijian back to their family. I also want to give you good news in saying that it's now nearly 180 days since we last had COVID-19 in the community.
Up ahead, market stall fee cannot be waived, says Minister. And Fijians encouraged to learn hand washing procedure.
Baik tu dia jadi mereka tahu रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Concerns have been raised that some stall owners capable of paying market stall fees are asking for a reduction. The stall fee varies in different municipalities, ranging from 85 cents to $1.20 per day. Local Government Minister Pramila Kumar says despite this, the vendors are asking for a decrease. Kritika Kumar reports.
Most of those complaining are vendors renting more than 10 stalls.
If you're not able to pay for the stall fee for 10 and more, why don't you surrender your stalls? Right? They don't want to surrender their stalls, but yet they want the price of the stall fee to be reduced.
Kumar says stalls are provided to small and micro businesses as they can't rent a shop.
So we want them to grow, right, in a market. And once they're able to stand on their feet, that's when this vendor needs to move out of the market, giving opportunity to the new set of people to enter.
Lambasa Special Administrator Doreen Robinson says the availability of space in the market is their biggest challenge.
Because there's been a huge increase in vendors since COVID came into play, we have had to accommodate a whole lot more people. And along with that challenge comes the fact that the long-term vendors have an issue with the short-term vendors coming in and taking up space.
The minister highlights that municipalities are not making profits from these facilities. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Lambasa taxi owners have raised concerns regarding the road conditions in the Northern Division. The branch president of the Lambasa taxis says that they have to fork out extra from their pockets to pay for the maintenance of their taxis. Kritika Kumar again with this story.
Secretary of Fiji Taxi Association Lambasa branch, Sujit Sharma, says it's becoming a costly affair for them to repair their vehicles.
We know the taxi business is very small business. From this, we feed our family. We have to make the payment of the car, and we have to also maintain our taxi to be in a good condition to run as a taxi. So for it, we have to spend a lot of money.
The drivers say they face a lot of challenges during wet weather.
Potholes on the Tahsil road and also on the gravel road. And side roads, there is no drain. All the grasses are coming towards the roadside, and scratches are made on the new cars.
Mahen Prasad believes the condition of roads is a major reason for traffic congestion.
That's why it's a very long queue, congestion of traffic. All the public, not only taxi, the private people, they are being affected.
The Fiji Roads Authority has confirmed that they are doing the routine maintenance of both sealed and gravel roads. They have also started the resealing program for roads in Natua and Lambasa. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
As the world marks Global Hand Washing Day, Fijians are being reminded that it's the simplest way to prevent COVID-19. Health Minister Dr. Ifireme Wangai-Nabete says hand washing is a part of life and everyone must be educated on the proper way to practice it. Venina Rakautonga has more.
Now more than ever, hand washing is an important practice to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
I was reading yesterday about the reports coming through from places around the world how best to look after people who have COVID-19. One thing is certain, they are saying that the role of doing things such as hand washing, social distancing is more important than medicine.
British High Commissioner George Edgar and Australian High Commissioner John Fix agree that hand washing should not only be remembered on this day.
As I hope everybody is very aware, hand washing and hygiene are a vital part of staying healthy for all of us. Obviously now in the context of the COVID pandemic, but also at other times.
And hand washing has never been more significant than ever. This year, as countries around the globe, including in Fiji, grapple with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Colgate-Palmolive has prepared 500,000 bars of soap to distribute to Fiji and other parts of the Pacific.
We support the World Health Organization, whose Safe Hands effort in Fiji and Pacific Islands, and partner with UNICEF Fiji to distribute this across the schools and medical facilities.
The Ministry of Health is encouraging 40 seconds of hand washing by Fijians daily. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
The United Nations office in Suva today launched a new website in an effort to complement and disseminate timely information from its 26 UN agencies. It's a step towards this year's United Nations 75th anniversary theme, which is the future we want, the UN we need. UN communications and advocacy analyst Sanya Ragiro says the website will be activated from midnight. The new One UN website aims to create awareness and advocacy on their work in the region.
That's what a large part of this website is hoping to do, to make us more accountable, to show the people on an everyday basis what it is we do. But this is not just a show and tell. This is about getting, when you know more, you're able to engage more.
And Karoy joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break, emerging businesses encouraged to use online platform. And Health Ministry receives more assistance. Stay with us.
Pula nadang ko aprosa ng karse, ngor kraki, do televizyon na barong na radio Fijuan, nandomo ibit.
Radio Fijiwan, nandomo ibit.
Vodafone Fiji is encouraging micro, small and medium enterprises to venture into their online marketing platform to maximize customer engagements. Chief Executive Ronald Prasad says online platforms offer far greater reach and accessibility to new markets, which will benefit local businesses in these difficult times. Addressing the Digital Inclusion Workshop in Suva today, Prasad highlighted their VTCard platform is also viable for new and emerging businesses.
You don't need to rent an outlet. You don't need to hire staff. And there's many people that are already using things like Facebook and Google or other online methods to be able to transact. But it's done on a sort of a quasi basis. The VT card platform actually allows you to have proper deliveries done. It allows you to receive payments, get the settlements done. And it's actually a great initiative by Vodafone, especially during these times.
Vodafone, through the Vodafone ATH Foundation, is promoting the use of technology for social good. The prospect of a major increase in unemployment over the coming months amongst ASOS core 20-something customer base sent shares in the British online fashion retailer low.
Fashion retailer ASOS quadrupled annual profits compared to last year, the firm announced Wednesday. Demand soared during the global health crisis, and the online retailer added 3 million customers in 2020. But ASOS said it was cautious about the future. It fears a big rise in unemployment over the coming months among its core customer base of young people in their 20s. Those worries sent shares down 7% in early trade. Chief Executive Nick Bayton said he was also concerned about the impact of Brexit. He said he assumed there would be a no-deal outcome in Britain's future trading relationship with the EU. On a more positive note for the company, it made a pre-tax profit of just over $183 million in the year to August 3rd. That's way up on the near $43 million it made in the same period last year. Sales rose 19% as the online company gained an advantage over store-based rivals who were forced to shut during global lockdowns. Besides this year's favourable conditions for ASOS, the company said it expects another improvement in profit in 2020 to 2021.
Sharon from HSBC Bank joins us now with the latest from the trading world.
The Australian dollar slipped and their bonds rallied after the Reserve Bank of Australia stoked speculation of a near-term rate cut. The RBA governor also hinted that it may buy more longer-dated government debt in a bid to reduce interest costs for the government as they continue to provide a massive amount of fiscal support to the economy. Meanwhile, data released today showed Australia's unemployment rate edged up to 6.9% in September. Perhaps a hint that the economy was still struggling despite massive fiscal and monetary policy stimulus. Elsewhere, the US dollar and Japanese yen got support as rising coronavirus cases and limited progress towards a US stimulus deal unsettled investors. And the pound held on to gains from the previous session over signs of progress in Brexit talks between UK and the EU. And that's all from your HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set early this morning. It was a fairly strong day for the Fiji dollar. It was pegged higher against the US and the Australian dollar, the PNG Kina and the euro. It weakened against the Chinese yuan, the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. It was a rise across the board on the commodities market. Oil rose, closing at $41 per barrel. Gold also rose to $1,897 per ounce, and silver closed at $24.17 per ounce. The Lindist Group of Companies Catalyst Foundation today handed over $20,000 worth of medical equipment to the Health Ministry. Foundation trustee Rokoseru Nambala Rua says the consignment is earmarked for the Vunisea Rural Hospital, which was hit hard by Tropical Cyclone Harold. Sanyani Boiler reports.
Lindist Group of Companies was closed during the COVID-19 lockdown period. However, the foundation was busy sourcing relief supplies to affected Fijians.
Our owner asked me, what can I do to help the people of Kandavu? And I know the devastation was quite a lot, and I said, we can't help only one village. And that's when I said, probably the best thing to do is see if we can help Vunisea Hospital. Because whatever we can provide to Vunisea Hospital will touch everyone in Kandavu.
Receiving the donation, Health Minister Dr. Iferemi Wangenabete says the help from the foundation ties in well with the ministry's operational plans.
But this will be very good use for us, because what it will do is the equipment and the linen that we were supposed to buy for them, we can now stockpile. Because
the donation comprises medical consumables, linen, beds, medical supplies and equipment. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
And that's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you next with the latest in sports.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.
Despite a huge win over Lautoka in its last match, the Nandi rugby side know all too well just how dangerous the Stallions are on home soil. The Jet-Setters aren't taking any chances with the game at Lawanga Park this Saturday as they chase a spot in the Final Four with 3 rounds remaining before playoffs. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Nandi side is expecting a much more fired-up Nandronga team when they clash this Saturday.
Even though they've been losing a few of the games lately, we are still treating Nandronga as a champion team, and that is a message they've been trying to send across to the boys. Don't you ever underestimate Nandronga.
The players have also been recovering well after their extra break, as they've been playing non-stop every weekend.
Well, we've been preparing for the game against Nandronga for the last 2 weeks. Thanks to the Fiji Day celebration, we managed to have another week of preparation.
A win over Nandronga will surely cement Nandi's chances in the semi-finals of the Skipper Cup.
So this game against Nandronga, it's a do-or-die game because right now we're in the 5th position, and we are trying to get in that 4th position.
Nandi play Nandronga this Saturday at 3 p.m. Philippe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
One of the big ticks given for the Wallabies has been for their new culture. Players say Coach Dave Rennie has unlocked something special by bringing players closer together than ever before with the use of Fijian and Tongan songs. Expect a thrilling 13th Fiji Better Savu Savu Sevens in the coming week with top local Sevens teams confirmed for the tournament. 40 men's teams will participate, including Mara's Sevens champions Tambandamu, runners-up Police White, as well as Ului Nakau Barbers and Jerituai's FDS Barbarian Brothers. 8 youth and 4 women's teams have also sealed their place. Tournament coordinator Malakai Yamaibaba says fans will not be disappointed with the competition on display at Nganilau Park from the 22nd to the 24th of this month.
For the past years, we've been waiting for registration, but for this year, we have exceeded our number. Our intended teams to participate was 32 in the main competition, 8 in the under 21, and 4 in the women's competition. We have exceeded both the category in the main competition and also in the under 21 competition. That shows a great competition for this year.
National Sevens rep Alasio Nanduba and Melinder Nalangi will be part of the Army Green side for the Fiji Beta Sabu Sevens next week. The side received some timely assistance ahead of the tournament from Ram Sami and Sons Fiji Limited. The company's business development manager Abdul Shamir handing over $2,000 to assist the team's preparations. The company says it is proud to continue helping sports clubs and unions despite the challenges brought on by the pandemic. The Sabu Sabu Sevens will kick off next Thursday at Nganilau Park in Sabu Sabu. Ratu Joshua Dhambesala never imagined playing 2 matches in a local rugby league competition would change his life forever. A missionary for the last 7 years, Ratu Joshua has been called up to play for the Eastern State Blues against the Western State Maroons in the Vanua State of Origin tomorrow. Caroline Tavi with the details.
Rugby has given Joshua Dhambesala a new perspective on life, and he is keen to see where it takes him.
I had no interest in playing rugby league while I'm growing up. I only played 7s, 15s in high school until we went on to play for the Tambandamu side. I had my own plans, but I think God has his own, which led me to where I am today.
Dhambesala is convinced that rugby league will be beneficial for him and his family.
When I joined the Kaiwiti Silktail squad, it has opened my perspective on wanting to be part of the NRL and be the next Maika Sivo. I know rugby league will not only help me, but also family financially.
The inclusion of Sevenaya Koroi, Timothy Naulumatua and Api Melekilutu in the squad will be a morale booster.
They are all not new, and in this type of competition, the Origin, we needed players that have already been tested.
Head coach Vulonon Dakuitonga says the right combination of attack and defense can win them the series.
What we have seen is that if we can just attack properly and defend it properly, winning and losing will just take care of itself.
The match will kick off at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow at Prince Charles Park, Nandi, while the women's clash starts at 12:10 p.m. Caroline Tavi, FBC Sports.
Former Fiji Pearls coach and captain Unaisi Rokoura is amazed with the efforts of players in the 4 teams for the Digicel Punja's Reset Netball Championship. Rokoura believes the tournament will bring out the best not only from the players but the technical officials as well. The teams will battle it out over the next 4 weekends starting this Saturday. The championship will also serve as trials with a 25-member Fiji Pearls squad to be named after the competition.
The commitment has been just amazing, and the training, we've got 42 squad members who are training every day at 6 a.m. in the morning, and yeah, it's been very impressive. And for that as well, as you can see, we're all not just upskilling the players, but also you see we've got in terms of capacity building, building our local coaches.
Fans can expect the level of competition to intensify in the remaining rounds of the Vodafone Premier League. With only 3 rounds remaining, teams will battle for the top 7 spots to guarantee their place in the Premier League next season. Fiji Football Association Media Officer Abhikash Chand says they anticipate some thrilling football action in the coming rounds as teams fight to avoid relegation.
Lambasa and Lautoka will take the field at Subril Park. It's going to be a repeat of the 2020 Coast IDC. And the other 4 matches, Nabwa will be hosting Rewa, who are currently league leaders. And Nabwa, who is at the bottom of the table, they will be giving a good fight with the Rewa because they will want to survive in the top level as well. Suba will be hosting Nasinu, while Ba will host Nandi. It's going to be a full round of matches where things will be much closer, like who's going to win or who's going to be relegated from the Premier Division.
Now to our play of the day, and as you saw earlier tonight, part of the Wallabies' new team culture is singing Pacific songs. Here's Filippo Ndaungunu and Marika Koroimbete leading the team with the popular gospel song, Enda Sanganga. Ironically, they mastered the Itauke verse but seemed to forget the English one. That's it from sports tonight. In new media, Huawei may sell Honor smartphone brand. Details after the break.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
In new media tonight, Huawei is in talks with Digital China Group and other suitors to sell parts of its Honor smartphone unit in a deal that could fetch up to $7 billion.
Huawei is set to sell much of its Honor smartphone brand, according to Reuters sources. Battered by US sanctions, the Chinese firm is reportedly rethinking its priorities. It wants to focus on its high-end phones and ditch the budget-focused Honor offering. The assets to be sold have yet to be decided, but could include the brand, research and development facilities and other units. That could raise up to $3.7 billion. The front-runner for the acquisition is seen as Digital China Group. It's the main distributor for Honor phones. But other contenders include electronics maker TCL and rival smartphone brand Xiaomi. There was no immediate comment on the reports from Huawei or Digital China. The Honor brand accounts for about a quarter of Huawei's phone shipments. But analysts say profit margins at the budget end of the market are razor thin. Honor phones compete with value brands including Xiaomi, Oppo and Vivo in the Chinese market and are also sold in Southeast Asia and Europe.
And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the weather world. I know how you feel about these conditions, especially when the weekend is so close. We do have a heavy rain warning in place, which can cause flooding in low-lying areas, so do take heed. Now moving on, in the west, after overcast conditions, little sprinkles were on. The night will see a few off showers and it will be cold. Eastwards from Bakaba to Suva, rainy all day with heavy showers to cross over later tonight. And up north, more of the same, so generally the whole nation is under showers. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas. You might want to think again before going out to sea. Turning to the tides, low tide at 11:22 p.m. with high tide at 5:31 a.m. Sunrise will be at 5:36. For tomorrow, it's a Friday, but it's not looking well weather-wise. There is huge rain bands coming our way. Tomorrow's temps, most centers will be cool in the lower 20s. And looking further on to Saturday, Vanwalevu looks okay, but Vitilevu will need lots of umbrellas. Well, that's all the weather news from here. Jackie is with you next.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse, we asked, what is your festive season going to be like this year due to COVID-19?
We will continue to celebrate Christmas this year, but we will take into consideration the COVID-19 protocols in place for our safety.
We as a family has been experiencing the effects of COVID-19, but we will work hard to ensure that we save something for this festive season.
We will celebrate it, but it will not like the previous festive season when there was no pandemic.
I think we'll still celebrate Christmas despite of the COVID-19.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, an architecture student from the UK uses an obsolete typewriter and is medium to draw. Recapping the main stories for tonight, new program to prepare Fiji for tourist arrivals. Investigation commenced for potential murder case, and agriculture exports remain steady despite pandemic. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking, do you think Fijians have shown resilience in the face of COVID-19? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to our shot of the day, the sunset captured beautifully at Nasese Suva by Sonia Samara. And send your newsworthy pictures to fbcnews@fbc.com.fj via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, stay safe, stay warm and dry. Bye for now.
मैं टोटली रेडियो पे रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।